Welcome to Death Valley, here the home of the LSU Tigers from Tiger Stadium as they play host to the Alabama Crimson Tide for the second part of our Monday night doubleheader. I'm David Roy, and in the booth with me tonight is Commissioner of the CFSL, Mike Peters. And Mike, both teams really looking for this next SEC win, and LSU in particular because they want to keep pace with Auburn.
Well, they do, and Auburn got the close win over Miami in the first game tonight. And like you said, LSU rather wants to keep pace with them. Alabama, though, at this point last season was 4-0. They want to get back into the SEC race.
There you see Bailey on siege, the quarterback for this Alabama Crimson Tide offense, and he will open things up from his own 26-yard line, and will start in the pistol, and he'll look to throw. Pressure coming as he throws that one to the left side. Baron Adams, the five-star receiver, gets 3 yards. And, Mike, that's a receiver I think they should target a little bit more.
Yeah, they'll want to get him going. He's only got 11 catches. I don't know if throwing to him in double coverage like they did there is the part of the game plan, but they definitely need to utilize him more.
Only one touchdown catch on the season for Adams as Farrell Norman picks up 6 yards. And, Mike, another player on this Alabama team that, you would think should get more carries.
Well, we thought so, and early on in the season, we wanted to get him going. He got 107 yards and 2 touchdowns in the opening game against Florida State. Looked a little slow the last couple of games, but he starts off with a nice run here.
Baron Adams on the orbit motion for the triple option, and Farrell Norman gets a carry. He'll run this one out to his own 44, a 9-yard run. So early here, 2 carries for Norman, and they have yielded 15 yards.
Well, and if they can keep going to that, like you said, they got their only win of the season against Florida State. They ran it 23 times for 107 yards to Norman. If they can do that tonight, they got a shot of upsetting LSU.
Siege to throw, and there the tight end Houston Freeman getting away. One man to beat, and he'll fight through him, but get pushed out of bounds at the 10. That was T.J. Keene.
Well, T.J. Keene saves the tackle there, or saves the touchdown, rather. Looked like Freeman was on an out route, and he was open. He decided to improvise, just go upfield, makes the catch, breaks the tackle, and just moves his way downfield. And T.J. Keene there with the touchdown-saving tackle.
T.J. Keene was busy last week, came up with a couple interceptions. Houston Freeman, on the other hand, 33 catches on the season for 369 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. As Farrell Norman gets the carry here, and he'll work his way down inside the 5 on the 8-yard run.
Not quite sure what was wrong with Farrell Norman the last couple of weeks. He only had 10 carries per game, couldn't really get going, but he looks a lot better, a lot more spry tonight.
Over the last 2 weeks, too, you mentioned a combined rushing yardage of 57 as Norman barrels into the end zone for the early touchdown.
That's his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. And so after a couple of down weeks, he gets back in the groove. The 4-star freshman pounds it in there, and a great opening drive there by the Crimson Tide.
An opening drive for Alabama that spanned 6 plays and yielded 7 points here as out comes Rooster Clutterbuck, and Clutterbuck makes this a 7-point game. Mike, our attention now turns to the other side of the ball and to the LSU offense, led out by Gage Youngblood, as they look to have a really big game tonight.
Well, they'd like to, and if they could score 40 points, odds say they're going to win the game. I would suspect most of the times you score 40, you're going to win the game, but LSU undefeated when they score 40 this season.
That's what they've been doing in each of their wins, and they got back to their winning ways last week, putting up 44 against Miami after their upset loss to Florida, where they only scored 13 as Gage Youngblood forced to throw that one away in the direction. The nearest receiver was Buford.
That one looked like maybe it came out of his hand a little awkward. Not the best pass we've seen him throw, but fortunately it wasn't picked off.
Alabama showing blitz as Buford gets split out. And that blitz does come, and that forces Youngblood to throw it away. Thomas Cole exerted that pressure.
And Colt Youngblood comes over there to pick up the blitz and protect the life of his twin brother and force the 3rd down.
And empty out the backfield here. 4-man rush. Gage Youngblood throwing into traffic, and Lamar Fant nearly had an interception. And it's a quick 3-and-out for the LSU offense.
Lamar Fant's been fairly quiet. He's been up and down. First game he had 9 tackles. 3rd game against Clemson, 13. Other than that, 5-2. He does have a pick on the season. Almost picked off his 2nd. Couldn't quite bring it in.
return by Fant near midfield. And Mike, the Alabama defense, they do their job on the opening drive for LSU. Now this offense looking to repeat their opening drive.
And if they can, they're going to be in really good shape here. If you could come out, take a 14-0 lead against LSU rather on their home field, you're in good shape.
Pistol set for Bailey on Siege, and it'll be a bubble screen to the right side. Akamu Lee fighting his way, or Zach Strickland picking up 6.
Yeah, a bunch of wide receivers, star-level wide receivers. You got Baron Adams, Akamu Lee, and Zach Strickland. You also got Houston Freeman, Tyson Cain-Blade, the linebacker, also plays some tight end. Easy to confuse all the options that they have.
Blitz coming for Bailey on Siege as he goes over the middle. That's Houston Freeman, the tight end, fighting down inside the 30. He'll pick up 18 on his second catch of the night.
Freeman's had 18 and 34 yards of receiving, actually 44 yards of receiving on his first 2 catches. LSU's given him a little bit too much room to work with because not only is he a good route runner, good receiver, but he's also powerful when he's running, and LSU's getting a little dose of that.
From the 27, here's Bailey on Siege. Play action and rolling out to his right. Going to take off and run. Siege takes a hard hit there from Martavis Marriott after the 6-yard run.
And if you're the Alabama sideline, you tell Siege that he needs to slide there, especially in front of a guy like Martavis Marriott, who's capable of not only forcing a fumble, but taking your head off.
Well, and you would think that would be certainly on the minds of both teams tonight, considering in the opening game we saw 4 fumbles combined between Auburn and Miami as Siege back corner of the end zone caught Akamu Lee.
What a catch there by Akamu Lee, covered by TJ Keene. Lee comes back for it, makes the catch, keeps his feet in. Great play there, just an excellent play overall by the 3-star Akamu Lee. And Alabama got the 14-point lead, the early lead here. Now there's still a ton of time left, but you got to feel like LSU's feeling a little shell-shocked.
A quick 4-play drive here for Alabama due to their great starting field position. And Mike, it's exactly what you said that Alabama needed, a quick 14-0 lead on the road here against LSU.
We'll see what LSU is able to do and respond. Keep in mind that Jacob McCall, the 4-star corner, the only star-level corner on this Alabama team, his appeal of his suspension and application for re-entry was denied by the review board, not on the field.
Quick check down from Gage Youngblood. That's Marcus Buford, the tight end. His first catch of the night, picks up 12. And Mike, that's Youngblood's first completion of the night, and Youngblood has been on fire recently.
He's had some very good games. He started off a little bit shaky in the first game, but then started to get everything going as you see him take off here. Big hit by Tyson Cain-Blade. He rebounded from that game, beats Texas, throws 6 touchdowns, along with 553 yards. Last week threw 5 more touchdowns. Florida game was a little iffy for him, only put up 13 points, but for the most part, Youngblood been very good here in his freshman season.
Gage Youngblood flanked on the right side here by Colt Youngblood. As pressure gets home, down goes Gage. Jeremy Mosley coming through on the sack, and a long 3rd down upcoming for LSU.
I think that's what they call unabated to the quarterback, David.
That, pretty free release, and nobody got a hand on Mosley, and now a long 3rd down from inside their own 30.
And that's a big sack there as it puts him in 3rd and 18 and probably going to act like a turnover.
Halfback screen, Colt Youngblood trying to make something of it, and he's only going to get out across to the 36-yard line. So LSU back-to-back drives ending in a punt.
Now, Lamar Fant's the one they able to get in there, but again, the sack was the difference. They brought too many guys there. Mosley gets through for the sack, going to force the punt. Alabama an opportunity to really put the screws to LSU here.
Lamar Fant on the return, and he's not going to get a whole lot on it. And Mike, so far, this Alabama offense been very diverse and very balanced. 5 runs, 5 passes so far.
Well, they've also had short drives, too, 6 and a 4-play drive. So they're moving the ball down the field with efficiency. We'll see if they can keep that up, but a huge opportunity here for the Crimson Tide.
And Farrell Norman running left, and not going to do a whole lot there as Ulrich Odenheim came screaming downhill to stop him after a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, he was bobbing when he should have been weaving. that he should have went inside, I think, but he was worried he was going to line Odenheim up for the hit. Odenheim stays outside with him, hits him anyway, and holds him to just one game.
Siege to throw, four-man rush, that pass to the middle and in the direction of Baron Adams, but that pass incomplete.
So LSU's defense doing a better job here, forcing the 3rd and 9. We'll see if Alabama's able to do something, but it could be a big stop here for the LSU defense.
Play fake, blitz coming, that pass out there for Adams, and he'll get 16.
They brought the all-out blitz, which against a play fake typically works, as they have to go through the progression quicker, but Siege does a good job there, coming off the play fake, getting the ball out, knew where his receiver was going to be, he was uncovered, they get the first down and keep the drive going.
Pistol set. From across midfield, Siege, quick throw, that pass caught by Zach Strickland, and he'll get out to the LSU 25.
That was a nice route run there by Zach Strickland. He gets off of the press here, Keene in coverage, and then he's out there. You see Keene pointing, he's passing him off to Odenheim. Odenheim slow getting down there, and Strickland does a good job accelerating to add yards after the catch.
It's odd that Odenheim would be considered slow, considering how fast earlier this drive he was able to stop Farrell Norman, who they go back to, and there's some speed as Martavis Marriott, as you said earlier, Mike, unabated into the backfield.
Yeah, that was one of the ones where Siege, I know that's the design play call, but you see the linebacker get back, just pull that thing back and throw it away. Don't leave your running back out there to get killed and lose 5.
2nd and 15, four-man rush. Siege for Houston Freeman, he gets 6 yards there, and that shortens this 3rd down.
Yeah, decent play there. It does shorten the 3rd down. Still not an easy one on 3rd and 9, but it gives them a chance. 3-on-2 to the top of the screen.
Siege gets sacked. Shadow coming through on the blitz, and Mike, he was unabated.
Yeah, there's been a lot of blitzes that are where they're getting through. Too many guys, not enough blockers. So good job by both defenses. Now we'll see if Rooster Clutterbuck, who's only 4 for 8 on the season, can drive home this 49-yarder.
Not quite from the middle of the field, but also not quite from the left hash, and Clutterbuck missed it. Pushed it a little too far outside, and now LSU an opportunity to try to overcome this 14-point deficit.
Yeah, that thing just hooked outside of the foul pole. You could say if you're a baseball fan, no good. And so Alabama can't get the 3-score lead, opening an opportunity here for LSU.
And Colt Youngblood had a lot of room, but then he kind of got turned laterally and cost him big yardage.
I don't know if it's an ideal game plan when your 5-star running back's getting his first carry 6 minutes into the first quarter.
Youngblood to throw, and that pass dropped in for JoJo Tidwell, who holds on despite the hit from Thomas Cole.
Yeah, he kind of left him out there a little bit, and he took the hit, but he holds on to the pass, so a nice catch there. Well thrown ball, even if it was a little dangerous.
And off Colt Youngblood running left, and he takes a big shot from Zachary Carter after a 5-yard run.
Well, Gage Youngblood here, or Colt Youngblood rather, running is a little dangerous against this defense as Alabama's coming out. Looks like they're hitting hard. He does get the nice 5-yard pickup, so it's a manageable spot here. But the Alabama defense, they don't want to give up this lead.
From the Alabama 40 and from the left hash, here's Gage Youngblood to throw. Pressure coming, and he's able to get rid of it despite the contact with Jackson Addock.
There was a time, especially in the pros, that would have been called in the grasp. Addock had him, but Youngblood does a good job of throwing that one away and avoiding the sack.
The backfield blitz coming, and that pass to the sideline, but ultimately dropped by Eric Maltzer.
Well, that's the benefit of the blitz right there, as he had to rush the throw a little bit. Wasn't as accurate as he wanted to be. They'll review it and see if he was able to get his foot down.
So the right foot, yeah, it's close.
Well, he had 1 foot in and 4 toes out.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
What? Wow. I thought all of his toes were on that line, but apparently the Zebras need to get their prescription on their contacts or glasses checked, as that one should have been incomplete.
They'll turn it around, but Alabama's going to turn it around as well, because down goes Colt Youngblood for a loss of 4.
Jackson Addock getting in there to shut down Youngblood. 4-yard loss. Again, this defense playing well, playing aggressive, and they were unfortunately at a disadvantage to the Zebras.
Triple option, the pitch, Eric Maltzer not getting much there because Zachary Carter flattened him.
This is a little bit of passion and fire that we haven't seen this Alabama defense play with this season. Maybe the first time we've seen them play like this all season, and it's a good sign if you're an Alabama fan.
So Alabama defense been playing well and looking to stand up here on a long third down. As a halfback screen for Colt Youngblood, and the defense rises to the occasion. Down he goes for a loss of 3.
Yeah, good play there by the defense. I don't like the play call, halfback screen, although we did see some work in the first game. But Alabama does a good job of shutting that down. Heavenly says EA, I guess, to that spot. I mean, it's something that's programmed in. That's why they have reviews. It is a little funky, but I wouldn't say that that's just EA being poor on that play.
A long field goal here, and delivering is Remy Boudreau from quite a distance.
Yeah, Boudreau perfect on the season, 11 of 11. So now we've got 2 really good kickers in the league right now as far as accuracy-wise. We saw Fryer cook in the first game, and Remy Boudreau's putting himself in that conversation as well.
And yet, we're still waiting on a great kick return for a touchdown.
Well, I have a feeling we're going to be waiting for a while. I was going to ask you in the first game what you thought the odds are that we ever get a punt return. We'll find out when we come back.
At the end of one, Alabama up 14-3. You're watching the CFSL on PX1 Sports. Start of the second quarter, and it's a pistol set here for Bailey on Siege, and they'll run the triple option. Siege pitching at Farrell Norman, got a lot of room. Farrell Norman in a foot race with Keene. He's going to break a tackle, gets away from Shadow, and Martavis Marriott will catch him all the way out to the LSU 18-yard line.
What a run by Farrell Norman. He gets a great block out front by Zach Strickland, creates a lot of room out there. Then he fights through 2 tackles. Keene was the first one there, and then he fights off Shadow. If his 2 blockers turn around and one of them picks up Marriott, he's got a shot at the end zone. Great run, though, overall, and a big play there for Alabama as they just keep on moving.
Out to the 16-yard line is where they'll officially spot it as Siege. Gonna double down, going back to Norman and the LSU defense saying, no, we've seen enough of that.
Well, he got through the first guy coming in. That was a walk-on, Ryan. Yeah, he was a cornerback. You can stiff arm that guy, but then they wrapped him up and took him down for the loss. Good job there by the LSU defense.
Backed up, hand off, Norman running right. He's got blocking courtesy of the fullback, Tyson Kane Blade, and Norman picks up 8.
Andre Archer getting in there to make the tackle, but another nice run by Norman, who's having an excellent game. Manageable 3rd and 4 here, and Alabama got the opportunity that they were looking for on their last drive to try to make this a 3-score lead.
3-man rush, Siege out into the flats. It's Baron Adams. He picks up the first down to make it 1st and goal.
A little short pass out there, and good job by Adams to recognize where he was, stay in bound and step forward and make sure he picks up that first.
Pistol set, Siege to throw. Going to take off and run. Bailey on Siege. Touchdown, Crimson Tide.
Excellent read there by Bailey on Siege. He sees Houston Freeman releasing in front of him, so he knows he's got a lead blocker. He takes the opportunity when he sees it, takes it in for the score. It's his 4th rushing touchdown of the season, and to the surprise of many, Alabama up 21-3 here on the road.
So now, Mike, the question becomes, for LSU in particular, how do you respond? You're down 18.
Well, it starts with getting points and putting together good drives. I mean, you can't get it all back with one swing, so to speak. You know, to use a baseball reference, they talk about when you're down big in baseball, you can't hit a 4-run home run with nobody on base. So you got to put together hits. You got to, work your way back in. Same thing you got to do here. You got to move the ball down the field and get points.
Youngblood to throw, dancing in the pocket, got time. Gage taking a shot on the right sideline. That pass caught. Marcus Buford all the way down to the Alabama 34.
We've got a couple of the better tight ends in the league going in this one. Houston Freeman and Marcus Buford. We saw Houston early on in this game. Now we're seeing Buford getting in there. They're almost even statistically coming into this game. I think both of them want to come out as being known as maybe the second best tight end in the SEC to Michael McKenzie. And both of them having good games so far.
They're actually going to spot this out to the 32. A little wide receiver screen to the left side, breaking a tackle. It's Cosmos Woods, his first catch of the night, Mike, and last week was a Player of the Week nominee.
He was. He had 4 touchdowns, 7 catches, 140 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I thought he was going to win Player of the Week. Leo Asiano winds up winning. He had a huge game, but quite the performance for Cosmos Woods.
Colt Youngblood, that run designed to go outside. Instead, he cuts it upfield and only gets 1.
Yeah, Youngblood a little struggling a little bit here. Can't really find his footing. Can't really get going. Maybe part of that's his usage. Outside of the first game where he had 22 carries, not more than 13 carries in any game since.
Midline read, Gage Youngblood running right, and he'll get down to the 17-yard line, but it's a first down.
Well, a nice run there. He gets as much as he can. They're moving the ball well here, and a touchdown keeps them in this game. So you ask what they could do. They're doing exactly what they need to.
Blitz coming. Youngblood to the middle. There's Woods down inside the 5. It's 1st and goal.
Well, they're trying to go to Woods again. He's already got 8 touchdowns on the seasons in only 4 games. They're trying to get him another one there. Now it looks like they're going to run it.
The line set, the toss. Gage Youngblood to Colt Youngblood for the score.
Youngblood gets his 3rd touchdown of the season there. Again, hasn't been utilized as much. You got to wonder if that's playing in to his psyche at all, but he gets the toss, takes it on the outside, follows his block, and LSU does a great job of moving the ball down the field and getting the answering touchdown here.
So now it's down to 11, Mike. And, Alabama, they've shown with Lamar Fant that they can have a kick return for a touchdown, but we're still waiting for that.
Yeah, we haven't seen one this season, and, Fant had some last season. I suspect that Tidwell and company could get one on the other side, but, I don't know if we're going to ever get a punt return again, and I don't know if we're going to get a kick return for a touchdown this season.
And you asked a little bit ago what I thought the odds were on the punt return. I thought it was going to be decent because of Blaze Gunner and the way Cross Prairie III was running on one particular punt return, but it didn't happen as Farrell Norman's showing some vision there.
I mean, based on our sample size, I got to say it's close to 500 to 1 on punt returns for touchdowns.
And we had the one in season 1.
Right, and we got to look at how many games. I know we hit 400 last season, so we're not going to be at 500 yet. But it's pretty close to 500 to 1, if not more.
Here's Siege. Pressure coming, and he's going to float that to the left sideline. Houston Freeman coming up a yard shy.
Freeman covered by TJ Shadow there. They do a good job of finding the open receiver. Good job by the corner to turn around and make the tackle and keep it from being a first.
Triple option, but having none of it was Andre Archer. Down goes Siege, and Alabama will punt.
One of the things that makes this 3-4 defense that LSU runs so tough is that they've got 4 linebackers back there. They're a little bit softer up the middle than maybe a 4-3 or even a 4-2-5 would be, but they've got those outside linebackers and 2 middle linebackers. They can spread it out a little bit, make those plays a little bit harder. They do it there and force Alabama to punt it away.
And the Alabama special teams stepping up because Colt Youngblood, no return on that one, stopped right where he caught it, and that is where Gage Youngblood will have to try to come up with something.
Well, another good drive here by LSU. Cut into the score again. They're right where they want to be.
Youngblood throwing the left side. That's JoJo Tidwell down inside the 25.
Tidwell gets wide open there. Cover 2. And the corner, or the safety, Zachary Carter, a little late getting over there in protection. Not able to run away from him. But a nice play there by LSU as they're continuing to move the ball. Now they're starting to pick up some momentum. We saw that in week 1 against Clemson. They're starting to do it here. Alabama needs to come up with something and stop their momentum.
The gun Gage Youngblood trying to stand in, pressure coming, and he tried to throw yet again after he steps up, but down he goes. Richard Bradley sacking him.
Ask and ye shall receive, says the Alabama defense. Richard Bradley powers through. Probably should have cut inside there, but goes outside, still creates the pressure. Winds up coming up with the sack, and an 8-yard loss the first down. We talked about that a lot this season. A lot of times those end drives, we'll see if the defense can rally here and hold them to a field goal.
All spotted here at the 31, and that is where Gage Youngblood will set up from the gun, hand off to his brother Colt, and he's only going to pick up 3 yards, so still a long third down.
Yeah, that run there, I don't know if I love it because you're not really giving yourself an opportunity because it's still going to be 3rd and 14. I would have preferred some kind of middle pass to try to get at least half of the yards.
3 wide. Youngblood to throw in the middle of the field, and it's well short of the first down. Cosmos Woods only picks up 3.
Yeah, not great play calling there, but they do set it up in the middle of the field, so Boutreau's got an excellent opportunity to make this an 8-point game.
Made one earlier from 48 yards out. This one a little bit less, but he still knocks it through to make it an 8-point game.
Boutreau 12 of 12 on the season field goals and keeping the pressure on reigning All-American kicker Fryer Cook. And it looks like those two are going to be going down to the wire. Clutterbuck's already missed one in this game. Alabama now with a crucial drive as they haven't scored the last couple times. LSU's moved the ball in, cut this lead from 18 to 8. Alabama would love to put a drive together here, kill out the rest of this half, and put some points on the board.
6th drive of the night here for Alabama, and it's going to open up with a run for Farrell Norman, who gets out to the 30.
I think going to Farrell Norman's a good idea. He's already got 92 yards in this game, averaging 8.4 yards per carry. He's found great success. I say you got to keep feeding him, especially with 3 minutes to go. You got time to run it.
Pistol set, 2 tight ends to the right. Siege to throw. Going to step up, going to take off and run. Bailey on Siege, the first down and more. Out across to the 45.
Excellent vision there by Bailey on Siege as he cuts inside of the lineman there, cuts upfield, gets a nice gain, and picks up the first.
Actually backed up to the 40 as Siege from the pistol, 4 wide here, trips top the screen. Siege to throw. Pressure coming, and down he goes. A loss of 7.
Now the walk-on cornerback Terry Patterson was the one that came in on the blitz. Unabated again, we talked about that all night long, forces him to the other side where the lineman makes the sack. Well, it's a combined sack there, and it's going to be a big loss. And again, just like LSU, taking the sack on first down, forced him to a field goal. We'll see if this sack ends the drive for Bama.
2nd and 17, Siege from the pistol, going to set up a halfback screen for Farrell Norman. Norman, not as much blocking, and he's not going to pick up a whole lot. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage, though, as O'Brien was there to tackle him.
A little bit better than the inside zone that LSU went with. They got more yards there, but still a long 3rd and 10.
Siege going to the halfback screen to that same side, and the LSU defense was ready for it as they stop it for a loss of 3 and take a timeout.
Went to the well one too many times there. The walk-on Russell Davis in there to shut that down. Ends the drive, and now LSU with an opportunity to pull it within 1.
Zone 25, Colt Youngblood trying to run up the sideline. He'll step out of bounds at the 40, and that is where his twin brother will lead this offense back out onto the field and look to try and close this gap, if not tie things up before half.
Yeah, Youngblood got a little excited. He saw some room, but just steps out on the return.
Maltzer with the catch, and he'll get down inside the Alabama 45-yard line. Only his 2nd grab of the night, but he's got 30 yards.
Quick little out route here. They clear out the defense with the angle route under the middle, or over the top rather. So they go to him underneath, and he's able to create some room and get the first down. Nice play call.
All spotted at the 43, and it's an empty backfield here for Gage Youngblood. 3-man rush. Youngblood going to take off and run, and he's going to get out to the Alabama 35 before he's ultimately stopped by Tyson Kane Blade.
A nice run there. We've seen Siege do it several times. Finally, we see Youngblood do it. He's got a little athleticism himself and gets the nice gain.
Empty backfield again here for LSU. It's Youngblood to throw, and that's a quick throw for Cosmos Woods to pick up the first down.
They just run a little drag underneath right at the marker, and they complete it. They get a new set of downs. Ball at the 32. They got 1:11 and 2 timeouts. Plenty of time to get the ball down into the end zone.
Youngblood to throw. Floating that one to the left side, and there Lamar Fant casually one-hands that interception, and he's going to get back to the Alabama 38.
Fant gets his second interception of the season. Double coverage there, and Youngblood tries to force it in there anyway. Fant cuts in underneath. Great job there on getting the turnover and stalling out this LSU offense, who was getting a lot of momentum on their last 3 drives.
Fant doubling his interception total from last season, only had 1, that being his second, as that pass out for Houston Freeman gets out to the 45.
Well, TJ Keene does a good job coming off his receiver again to come back and make the tackle. It's the second time he's done that on Houston Freeman tonight.
Siege to throw, halfback screen, Farrell Norman gets some blocking, and a stiff arm is going to help him get across midfield.
Look, I like that Farrell Norman's having a better game and you had some success with him. But let's not keep feeding him on halfback screens here. Let's hand it off to him up the middle or take some shots downfield.
Siege to throw. He's going to take off and run, and the ball comes free. It's a foot race to get there, and Alabama fortunate to fall on top of it at midfield.
Well, Houston Freeman was there, Johnny on the spot to jump on that one.
Siege to throw again. He's going to take off and run again, and down he goes. Brett Gelkin there to bring him down for a loss of 3.
Siege having a little Jose Bueno syndrome here. I'm surprised that LSU's not taking a timeout here, but on 3rd down, they don't want to give Alabama time to think about it.
No huddle look, and then the throw, a quick throw for Barrett Adams as he's able to pick up 16 in a new set of downs.
Maybe they should have taken a timeout because that defensive coverage leaves something to be desired.
So the clock stopped to reset, and now it runs again. Is Siege going to run again? Fighting for yardage, but down he goes, sacked yet again here tonight.
Siege is trying to do too much, trying to do it all himself, not working out for him.
Siege a throw, last play of the half, breaks a tackle from Gelkin, and then he's finally stopped. And so Alabama will take an 8-point lead into the locker rooms here at halftime. And Mike, Alabama had such a strong start, and yet LSU came on a little bit late, but they've made a game out of it.
They have. Alabama jumped out to an 18-point lead, executed very well on their first 2 drives, even their 3rd drive, moving the ball down the field pretty well. But their offense was stalled out, and their defense started giving up yards to LSU, who's fought back and made this a game. It's been very exciting. I think Alabama still has to feel good that they're up by 8, but they got to be a little concerned about the momentum that LSU started the game there in that 2nd quarter. So it's going to be important for Alabama to come out, move the ball down the field on offensively, and start getting stops on defense.
You look at the numbers there, not a lot separating these 2 teams from the aerial attack, but the rushing yards, the differences there, almost 70 yards in difference, and then time of possession really playing a factor here. 2 minutes in Alabama's favor, and Mike, only 1 turnover for LSU, although Bailey on Siege avoided one there late in the half.
Well, Big Country saying that they should have called a timeout. What was going to be different? They were going to run a verticals concept, and Siege was going to take off and run just like he did. I don't understand what the timeout would have changed there.
So LSU, Colt Youngblood will take an E. And Mike, LSU down 8. What do they need to do here to open things up in the second half?
I think they need to do what they did most of that 2nd quarter. They moved the ball effectively. They ran it a little bit. They used multiple different receivers. They tried to do it here on the tight end screen, but it doesn't work out for them.
Yeah, down goes Marcus Buford for loss, or for gain of 2, excuse me. Zachary Carter made that play. And Mike, LSU ended that first half, their last drive, it was the interception to Lamar Fant.
Yeah, Fant came up big, and that stalled them out. So Alabama has an opportunity to take some momentum there. They need to keep that going here by at least getting a stop and forcing a punt, if not another turnover here.
Gage Youngblood to throw. And it's a quick throw. Check down for Colt Youngblood. He'll pick up 9 yards, but it's enough. It moves the sticks here for LSU.
Well, Colt's not getting super involved in this offense, but he's getting involved enough. And if he starts to get comfortable and they start feeling him and start going to him more, it could be trouble for this Alabama offense.
Well, the Alabama defense causing some trouble for LSU's offense as that bubble screen goes nowhere except back to the line of scrimmage.
They've gone with screen passes to the outside on the first down. Typically what you use those for, they call them constraint plays. You try to spread out the defense, open up the room to run it over the middle. We'll see if they do that. I haven't been running a lot with Colt Youngblood. We'll see if maybe that's what they're trying to do, is free up some room in the middle.
Gage Youngblood from the pistol, and Buford the tight end in motion as Youngblood to throw. Blitz coming, but it's a quick throw as he finds the window where JoJo Tidwell makes the grab for 13.
I'm not sure if they told JoJo Tidwell when they recruited him that they were going to leave him out to dry like this. They're going to use him on these quick bang plays, but he's doing a good job holding on to it and taking the hits.
Bubble screen to the left side here for Marcus Buford, and Buford will get close to the first down. They'll mark him just shy, though. Buford only his 4th grab of the night.
They're still not getting the looks that they want in the run game, so they keep using these screen passes to try to spread them out. Now they got a little bit more room up the middle. We'll see if they finally run it.
Trips to the right. They'll run the read option keeper, and Gage Youngblood turning upfield. Gets down inside the 30.
Dangerous play there. One defender was low and the other one comes high. An opportunity not only for an injury, but to knock that ball loose. Youngblood holds on to it and gets the first down. LSU moving the ball here. I don't think they're going to go for 2 if they get it in, but they got an opportunity to make it a 1-point game.
2-by-2 look, blitz coming. Youngblood, quick throw right side, the tight end Buford down to the 11.
Well, now that they're down at the 11, you got to wonder about Cosmos Woods. He's got 8 touchdowns on the season like we talked about earlier, had 4 last week. Are they going to look for Woods, or are they going to give the ball to one of the young bloods and let them try to get it in?
Zachary Carter came up with his 9th tackle of the night here as Tyson Kane-Blade nearly got the sack on Gage Youngblood on that previous play. And Youngblood back in a pistol set here. They're going to run the speed option. The pitch to Colt Youngblood, but the Alabama defense was ready and waiting.
Playing downhill, that's what you call it on defense. Matt Burgess, the walk-on corner, stepped up to the number 1 spot with Jacob Call being suspended. Comes up with a nice play there and forces the 3-yard loss.
Single back set, handoff. Colt Youngblood running outside to the right, and he gets tripped up by Kane-Blade, and then there to finish it off was Jeremy Mosley.
Maybe this is the reason they don't go to Youngblood more often, is this their line just not blocking very well, and they can't get him going. So they've ran it with him twice. They've lost 4 yards, and now they're in a long situation here on 3rd and 14 from the 15-yard line.
Empty backfield. Quick throw left side, a lot of air under that one for Tidwell, and that allows Lamar Fant to stop him really quickly.
Yeah, he didn't set his feet there, didn't get enough pace under that pass, so not much that he could do with that after the catch.
So out comes Remy Boudreau for his 3rd field goal. This one, a very short 28-yarder, and he puts it through to make it a 5-point game.
I'm starting to get the same with Remy Boudreau that I am with Friar Cook, but I just look away and start planning what I'm going to talk about next because I know it's going through.
So out comes Lamar Fant. He's going to try to make a return out of this.
Whoa!
Lamar Fant, he's got a chance. And he's across midfield, still going. Lamar Fant breaking another tackle, pushed out of bounds at the LSU 25.
Lamar Fant, as close as we've seen anybody all season to taking one to the house. He's bobbing and weaving. So many moves. He wasn't able to hit top acceleration. But what an effort there by Lamar Fant, who not only has an interception, but also has a 74-yard kick return now.
Well, Mike, you see the LSU defense. 5 sacks on Bailey on Siege here tonight, and that has become a very familiar scene for this Alabama team. But that one, maybe not so much. Strickland down inside the 5.
Well, there's another quarterback who did this against LSU back in season 2. His name was Blake Moon. You'll remember a lineman by the name of Michael Sudeikis got 5 sacks in that game, and we talked about Moon ran into several of them. Well, they got 5 sacks as a team in this game, but Siege is running into a lot of them, just making bad decisions, scrambling. Makes a good decision with that throw, though.
Siege now 3 straight weeks where he's been sacked 5 times, and that pass dangerous for Baron Adams, and it results in a net gain of 0 back to the line of scrimmage and nothing more.
Extremely dangerous pass there as he's all covered up by the walk-on Ryan Young. They still go to him, and Baron Adams does a good job making the catch, though, but I'm sure that the Alabama sideline did not like that when he let that go.
So out comes Alabama. Jumbo set here, 3 tight ends, and they're going to give it to the fullback, and he's not getting much.
Well, when you have your 4-star running back running really well and you're inside the 5, why not hand it off to your walk-on fullback?
3rd and goal. 2 tight ends to the right. Receiver in motion, triple option. Siege can't get anything else but to the line of scrimmage. The LSU defense standing up.
I knew this was a bad idea when they brought that receiver in motion. They had the numbers advantage that they wanted. They had leverage to the right. If they run a stretch play to the right, I think Farrell Norman scores. Instead, they try to run a read option to the left. They bring the receiver in motion. Just didn't work out, and they wound up being held to just a field goal.
21-yard chip shot for Clutterbuck, and you talk about being held to just a field goal. Well, that's what happened to LSU on their previous drive. It was a 10-play drive, Mike, and they only got 3 points out of it.
Well, it was a good job by the Alabama defense, rather, to clamp down inside the red zone. Play calling was maybe a little bit suspect. Alabama needs more of that if they want to complete this upset here.
Colt Youngblood gets a handoff, and he'll pick up 3, and we'll take this opportunity to give a shout-out to everybody in live chat here. Voodoo, Juby, Scott Fountain, Jimbo, Eric Maltzer, SYN Heavenly, which I believe is Lamar Fant, Alan, Dat Dude, Shane, Big Country, Mr. Downtowner, Neil is in here as well as Georgia fan. And anybody else I might have missed, I apologize. Gage Youngblood gets a first down.
Yeah, Mr. Downtowner is wired. For those
that's
that
right.
don't
I
know.
remember that. Youngblood pumping left, and he's going to throw left, and that one out of bounds.
A lot of quarterbacks would have just checked that down and completed that, and they would have lost yards. So good job there by Youngblood just to throw that one away and make sure they didn't lose yards on that play.
Well, Juby is saying that Heavenly is actually a Kamu Lee, and so that is good for us to know, as it's hard to pick things up as we've made the switch to YouTube, and it's hard for LSU to pick up Jeremy Mosley as he's got his 2nd sack tonight.
Yeah, Mosley's having himself a nice game, and we see Teslin Klein, a.k.a. Firefly Connor, jumping in a little bit too. And again, we do appreciate you guys following us over here to YouTube. Make sure you like the broadcast now so we can move up the rankings.
Back screen, Colt Youngblood getting a whole lot of nothing, fighting, and yet he'll still lose the yard. This Alabama defense playing fierce here tonight.
Well, Jeremy Mosley in there again, and he's the one that shuts that one down, plays it very well, and holds them up for everybody else to get their excellent drive there for the Alabama defense. They force the punt. Now the Alabama offense really needs to convert with more points here and make this more than a 1-score game.
LSU to punt it back into Lamar Fant, who, as we have pointed out a couple of times, as he showed, is a dangerous returner, although this punt going to bounce all the way down to the 4 where LSU special teams will down it.
Well, Fant did a good job on the kick return, created a lot of space, got 74 yards, misjudges that one for whatever reason. I think he thought it was going to bounce further than it did, but he was so far upfield, he's got to recover that mistake there by the sophomore Fant, and terrible field position here for Alabama.
Shane in live chat, he's loving what he just saw.
Yeah, anytime a punt goes inside the 5, Shane's pants go crazy.
High formation here for Alabama, and they're going to go to that walk-on fullback, and he's going to pick up 9.
Well, he's got a little bit more pep in his step than I thought. Not a lot of room to run on the goal line. I still would have liked them to go to Farrell Norman, but it was a good call here down inside your 5.
Mitchell O'Brien, his 6th tackle, is read option keeper. Siege running outside to the right. Bailey on Siege, fighting with Ulrich Odenheim. He gets 13, but Mike, if Siege had gotten away, the dude's got a set of wheels. He might have been gone.
He does. And we talked about this too. A lot of power in that little frame, but not able to break away there. Good job by the LSU defense. Good calls early on by the Alabama offense.
It's coming, that pass over the middle, and Barrett Adams holding on for a gain of 6.
Barely holding on. He threw it right in front of a big defensive lineman, and he gets tackled by Brent Gelkin, but Adams holds on and picks up 6.
From the 33, pistol set here for Bailey on Siege. Triple option. Siege running it, gets away from Mitchell O'Brien, but there to chase him down is Brett Gelkin, who's getting more and more involved in this defense.
He is. He's coming on strong. He had a nice debut last week, 5 tackles and a tackle for loss. Having himself another nice game tonight.
Pistol siege with 4 wide and a quick throw for Barrett Adams. He'll get the first down out inside the LSU 45.
Well, Alabama moved Barrett Adams into the slot for this game. I'm guessing to avoid the good corners that they have on the outside, and right now it's working out well for him.
Bubble screen left side here for Akamu Lee, and he'll pick up 7. So this Alabama offense, Mike, tonight been very diverse in their play calling.
They have, and that's a big part of why they're up in this game right now. Now I'd like to see him go to Farrell Norman and let him convert this first down.
2 tight ends to the right, and Siege to throw. Looking, floating that to the right sideline. That's Akamu Lee, who will get down inside the 20 as Mitchell O'Brien was in coverage.
Well, a wide open out route for 18 yards, that works too.
When it works, I mean, it's hard to complain, right?
No, I do think they are by using these outside routes. I think they are creating some space up the middle to run the ball. I don't know if they have exactly the look they're looking for now, but eventually they're going to open up some room for Farrell Norman.
5-step drop, and then Siege going to try to take off and run, and he will run into trouble and get out of it. Bailey on Siege, then going to slide down to the 11.
Got to be a little frustrating for the Alabama sideline as he keeps running in the line, but that time he does a good job escaping, and he also slides to avoid the big hit.
Nearly ran into a sack and yet managed to find a way out of it. And here he's going to find his way out of danger. Running laterally, turning the corner, hurdles a man down to the 1.
I thought he was going to hurdle his way into the end zone. He goes airborne, tries to stretch the ball across the marker, but gets stopped just short. What a play, though, by Bailey on Siege.
2 tight ends left. Handoff. Norman running outside. He's not going to get there.
What a play there by the LSU defense as they shut that one down. Great game overall we got going.
3 quarters in, and Alabama holding on to an 8-point lead. Looking to extend it. You're watching the CFSL on PX1 Sports on YouTube Live. Start of the 4th quarter. Ball inside the 1. It's a single back set with 2 tight ends, and Siege under center. Akamu Lee on the jet sweep, going backwards for a loss of 2, and that makes it 3rd and goal to go.
I don't mind that play call. Didn't work out for them, but they're trying something a little bit different. They went to Norman. That didn't work. They tried to end around. That didn't work. Interesting spot here. Do they try to run it? I don't know. LSU's defense is fired up and boxed up in the middle.
Step drop. Siege standing, dancing, gonna run, breaks 1 tackle from Marriott, but he cannot get away from Alan Dutch, who stops him at the line of scrimmage. 4th down.
Excellent job there by the LSU defense. They didn't give him anything open. They stacked the box, so we're not going to allow you to run it. Siege finally tries to take off. Marriott takes a bad angle, misses the tackle, but Dutch is there to get the stop, and they hold him to a field goal attempt.
And Mike, in an 8-point game here in the 4th quarter especially, a stop like that is huge.
Well, and you also force them to kick a field goal from the right hash with the right-footed kicker. This is not easy.
20 yards out, and Rooster Clutterbuck does put it through to make it an 11-point game. 7:25 to play.
So LSU's defense did what they needed to. Now they need their offense to get going. They were working a little bit on the last drive, trying to create some space as Dutch gets open.
Alan Dutch getting across to midfield.
We're getting so comfortable and that no returns get taken to the house that we just start talking through them. In this game, they're starting to break some returns.
9th drive of the game for LSU, and Gage Youngblood to throw. And he'll start with a quick strike here for Colt Youngblood, gain of 3.
They're trying to get Youngblood involved a little bit more, but Alabama's just not giving him a lot of room with which to operate. So they're going to have to look to guys like Tidwell on the outside if they want bigger plays.
Little wide receiver screen here for Cosmos Woods, and Woods going to get close to the marker, but Tyson Kane Blade is able to get over there and keep him short.
Well, that's different than a lot of the screens you see. They actually moved the offensive line out there to create blocking. Instead of just being a constraint play, this one is more set up to try to be a big play, catch them off guard. It's almost like a trap play, but good job there by the Alabama defense to keep it from being too big of a game, but it does set up a short 3rd and 1.
From the Alabama 39-yard line, and Youngblood from the gun, 3 wide. Midline read, Gage Youngblood not going to get there. Tyson Kane-Blade stopped him short.
What a play by Tyson Kane-Blade to keep him from getting the first down. They're going to go ahead and go for it here on 4th and inches.
Youngblood in the gun with his twin brother to his left. Gage Youngblood to throw. 2-man rush. Being chased. Gage Youngblood, a stiff arm, and the ball comes free. And Alabama recovers.
Wow. I didn't like that play call. I didn't like them passing there at all. But Youngblood, I thought, did the right thing, tried to run for it, fights through a tackle, gets the first, but he doesn't cover up the ball. And a great job there to force that one out by the walk-on. Samuels, I think it is. He forces it. Alabama picks up. What a huge turnover for Alabama.
So now the Alabama offense going to run this one here for Farrell Norman. He's going to actually lose a couple as the Crimson Tide trying to nurse this 11-point lead.
The important thing here for Alabama is not to get comfortable, not to run 3 plays and to punt it back. They lose 2 here. Maybe go to the pass game. You want to get a first down, a couple of first downs maybe, and take some time off this clock.
So showing blitz as Norman gets a carry, and Farrell Norman gets bottled up really quickly there. Gets the yardage back that he lost, +1 to make it 3rd and 9.
Most of the momentum that you gained with that turnover goes away here. If you go with something like a halfback screen and don't get the first down, you got to push the ball downfield.
4 wide, siege a throw, pressure coming, and he goes short, but picking up the first down is Zach Strickland, who's able to squeak that out.
Excellent job there by Siege to recognize the blitz. LSU's been blitzing a lot on 3rd downs. They do it there. He knew where his check down was. He goes to it, and they get the first.
And the pistol. Siege from midfield, read option keeper. Bailey on Siege, turn up field. And he's going to get down to the 37. Mike, as you mentioned, Alabama looking to pull off another upset here against LSU, something that LSU experienced 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, Florida upset them and extended to one of the only 2 unbeaten teams in the league. Now Alabama coming off a couple of losses, looking to pull an upset too.
1-3 Crimson Tide looking to go to 2-3 is Bailey on Siege, improving his numbers, a gain of 8 there.
Well, this is basically the sophomore 5-star quarterback versus the freshman. Youngblood fumbled the ball, and now Siege, who's had kind of a rough night, ran into quite a few sacks. He's got an opportunity to lead his team down the field and put this game away.
Siege to throw. Quick throw to the middle, and a huge hit delivered to Barron Adams, courtesy of Martavis Marriott.
Well, the 5-star wide receivers on these 2 teams, Barron Adams and JoJo Tidwell, are earning their scholarship tonight as they are getting thrown balls into coverage, and they're doing a great job of holding onto it and making clutch catches.
So Alabama tonight, either way, despite how this game goes, they've got a road trip next week to play the other Monday night team that played earlier, Miami, and they will head down there to take on those Hurricanes who are licking their wounds as Bailey on Siege. He's been sacked a lot tonight. He's going to be licking his wounds in the morning.
Yeah, he takes off and run. And again, I think this is just an example of a young quarterback trying to do too much. He's trying to take off and run, trying to do it with his legs. Isn't seeing what he likes on his first or second read, so he's just trying to take off. And unfortunately, sometimes it's worked out for him. Last season even, some this season, but recently, more often than not, it's resulting in that, which is stalling out drives.
Davis Marriott, 12 tackles, 2 for loss, and a sack as Siege. Down he goes again, but he's able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Still 4th and 7.
Well, the benefit for Alabama and even for Siege is not only does he take off and he doesn't get anything, but he does take more time off the clock, and he does line Alabama up here for what should be a reasonably easy field goal to give them a 12-point lead.
This one from 43 yards away and near the right hash as Clutterbuck delivers to make it a 14-point game.
Yeah, I said 9. It was already 11, so 14. So it actually works out. They got 2 touchdowns. LSU doesn't have enough time for 2 full drives, so they're going to need a touchdown unless they score quick and to get an onside kick, which is, as we've seen, not easy, although you go all the way back to LSU's first season in season 2. They did it against Ohio State. David, a game you probably remember.
I do. And it's funny that you should mention Ohio State because LSU gets to take its road trip to Columbus next week and play Ohio State. But they've got their sights set here tonight trying to make this comeback, and they're not going to pull it off on that play, 2nd and 10.
Help me remember that game in season 2. LSU was down.
Yeah.
I know they had a one-play touchdown to Jared Stenonis. I don't remember if it came before or after the onside kick, but when they wound up coming back, benefited by an onside kick, coming back to pull off a pretty big upset. And for a lot of people that don't remember, you were the AD of Ohio State back then.
And I was on the call for that game too. And what happened was there were actually 2 quick strikes to Tetonis. There was the one before to set up the onside kick. They got it back, and because they recovered it, was the first time we'd seen that. And what's crazy about that game is Ohio State was in control of that game the entire way up until those last 3 plays that 4th quarter. LSU recovers the onside kick, go-ahead touchdown pass to Tetonis, and then Ohio State just couldn't recover from it. And LSU trying to recover from being down 14. They find Mulzer. It's a gain of 16. They'll go no huddle.
Ray Tatum was the quarterback. Tatum went on to be considered the greatest quarterback of all time in this league.
He did, and we saw it then in that season. And Gage Youngblood here would like to try to put himself in that conversation. And he's had a pretty good start to the season, although tonight is one he'd probably like to forget or have back.
The Alabama defense isn't giving him quite the same kind of opportunities that Ohio State did in that game. And
oh, certainly not.
Yeah, Youngblood just trying to make something happen. Alabama is just too good right now.
Blitz coming there, but Marcus Buford, he'll pick up 7. But it's crazy too because it was that game in particular that the rest of us kind of asked the what if question, especially when Tatum and Tetonis split up after that season.
Well, I think that was the game that Matt Pack fell in love with Voodoo.
Well, here's a shot and a broken tackle.
Whoa.
And Tidwell
This is
down
eerie.
to the 5.
This is eerie. Tidwell, 5-star, heralded 5-star receiver. Is he a little bit like Tetonis? Youngblood, is he a little bit like Voodoo Tatum? They get the big play here. Can they get the touchdown? Can they recover an onside kick? Are we making a premonition of the things to come?
Well, that onside kick happened on this same turf that season. Youngblood to throw. Dancing in, check down. Marcus Buford barrels in. Touchdown, LSU.
Well, now it's going to be interesting. 2:27. They could kick it off and try to play defense. It'll be interesting to see what LSU does. Will they go for the onside kick or will they kick it deep and depend on their defense to get the ball back?
Road takes it on 7-point game, 2:27 to play, and Mike, both teams, all 3 timeouts each.
They're going to kick it deep.
Not going to go the onside kick. Not going to test fate, even though, as we have just recounted, Mike, it's technically on their side.
Well, we tried to set it up as such. Maybe the voodoo here in Baton Rouge was going to play a role, but no voodoo on the field here. So we'll see if Alabama can put this one away.
Earl Norman getting a carry, bottled up quickly, though, only getting 3 yards here.
You know, that's an interesting point, only getting 3 yards. A lot of times when they are able to kill the clock, they pick up 7, 8, 9 yards on first down. Yeah. They bottle it up for 3. They got an opportunity to shut this drive down.
Strong eye to the left. Handoff. Norman, that side. Bottled up again, only 3 yards, and LSU takes their first time out. 3rd and 4, and a crucial one here for both teams.
TJ Keene's done a good job not only against the pass, but also playing the run on that left side tonight.
Each to throw, blitz coming, and it's a quick strike. That's Barron Adams, and he's got the first down. Or no, Houston Freeman, excuse me.
Houston Freeman, they go to their tight end over the middle. LSU uses their second timeout, only got 1 left. This game's almost over.
Norman the handoff to put this game on ice, and more, the first down.
Well, he does get pushed out of bounds, so that's going to stop the clock. So technically LSU still has an opportunity here, although it's very, very slim.
Norman up over 100 yards rushing here tonight on 17 carries. And here's Farrell Norman running again right to put this game on ice. He's got the first down.
That's it. Farrell Norman started out, ran very well all night long, and he caps off a tremendous game by this Alabama team to pull off the upset on the home turf of the LSU Tigers.
So as pointed out, again, Alabama next week, they've got to go to Miami. They'll play the Hurricanes, but this win here tonight does put Alabama at 2-1 in conference. LSU will drop to 2-2, and they get a break next week from conference play as they get to go and play the Ohio State Buckeyes in Columbus.
Not sure why Alabama's running here. They're playing with fire. We saw this in that Alabama-Oregon game a few seasons back where they had an opportunity to kneel the ball. They ran it. They fumbled it. Was taken back to the house for a touchdown, and they wound up losing it. Right now, Alabama needs to just take a knee.
They're not going to, and they're still going to have to snap it because of the play clock. And Norman gets the carry, and he's able to hold on to avoid disaster. So Alabama pulling off the upset over LSU on their own turf, 30-23 the win.
Well, impressive game by Alabama. They came out, they took it right to LSU. LSU was favored by 6.5 coming in. A lot of people counted Alabama out on the season, but they show that they're still in it. Like you said, they advanced to 2-1 in the SEC, and now things become a lot more cloudy in the SEC as we head down these final 3 weeks of the season.
We're not done, though, with CFSL action. Week 5 continues on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. The Oregon Ducks and the Ohio State Buckeyes square off from Columbus. And on the call for that one will be Jeff Melanishin and Tyler Smith. But for us here tonight, Alabama gets to win 30-23. For Mike, I'm David saying so long from Baton Rouge, and we'll see you tomorrow night.